Hello and welcome to the WIHS Journal, Public Affairs from 104.9 FM. I'm Paul Kretschmer on the second of 2 days of conversation about the Virtual Walk for Epilepsy 2020. My guests once again are Stacy Hathaway and Monica Hathaway.
Yeah, the doctors it really is incredible what they are able to do and what they do know about the brain, even though, as you mentioned, there is so much still that they don't know. But there is also, what's pretty fascinating is that they've come up with other treatment options for individuals, which includes different implanted devices that will stimulate the brain. They're called stimulation devices, and those are helpful for particular individuals that have what we call focal epilepsy, where just part of the brain is affected, and these different mechanisms that are implanted, whether it's in the brain or in the chest, they can stimulate the brain at the onset of a seizure and help to stop or reduce the intensity of that seizure. So there are other options available to patients today, which is really pretty exciting.
Is there any particular link between having epilepsy and for some people who develop Parkinson's disease, or are those simply two disorders that occur, on an average figure about the way a relationship between different disorders and other disorders might somehow come up at the same time or maybe in the same population?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about Parkinson's, but that's neurological as well, correct? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I think for, even the older we get, the older our bodies get, the older our brains get, and we develop these health issues. I think that is one reason why people that later on in life can develop epilepsy, and then also, in addition to something like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, they may also experience seizures in addition to those other conditions as well. And I think Parkinson's, if I'm not mistaken, is also neurological, so that could be a reason as well that somebody may also have epilepsy.
One further question before we move on to the virtual walk, and the additional question I'd like to ask each of you to answer if you want to, is does epilepsy occur across the span of ages, or does it tend to begin manifesting itself at an earlier age and then continue on for a person's lifespan, or for one reason or another, like an accident or something else, occur in people who are further along on the age ladder?
Yeah, all of the above. So
all of the above.
It does. Yeah, all of the above. So it can happen at any time throughout somebody's life. So it could happen at birth. It could happen as just as an infant, in adolescence, or it could happen later on in life as well. So there are peak onsets for certain types of epilepsy, but then also somebody could experience a traumatic brain injury, and as a result of that brain injury, develop a seizure disorder as a result of that. So there are some known causes that we do know. Brain injury is one of them, but most of the time, it can just happen at any time, and doctors really don't have an explanation as to why it's happening, or that it's happening.
Moving on to the virtual walk, like a lot of other activities during this calendar year 2020, the walk has turned into a virtual event, as I understand it. I suppose that normally it is held on a given day when it's real as opposed to virtual. It happens in a given time and place. Is that normally the case?
Yes, I'll take that one. Yes. So the Epilepsy Foundation this year had 6 walks, national walks to end epilepsy, scattered throughout the state on, it actually was 4 different days. There was 2 on 2 days, 2 on another day, and then 2 separate days. And this year, with the COVID-19 crisis, we had to move to a virtual format. So unfortunately, instead of being able to gather at a site and all walk together, we had to develop a way to still encourage people to join the community and walk together while being safe and practicing social distancing. And those took place. We launched all of those 6 virtual walks over the last 2 weeks. And instead of it being an individual day, an event, we were running from to May 15th to June, or May 10th, May 10th to June 15th. So it's sort of like a campaign where you could walk any time in between there and still register your team and raise funds and all of those kinds of things to help support people in the epilepsy community and raise awareness.
So a person would go to your designated website to register themselves, and or if they have a small group of, let's say, 5, which I think is what the state of Connecticut is encouraging groups to stay size limited to 5, I believe, and if you all distanced properly and did your walk or your run together, then you'd be able to make support out of that effort to the foundation. Is that how I understand it correctly?
Right. So, for instance, my family walked here at our local state park that's near us. We can register your team, or you can walk as an individual and go out. You can wear purple, or you can wear last year's Epilepsy Foundation Walk to End Epilepsy shirt to help promote awareness. And then we're asking people to take pictures or videos of while you're out there walking and submit them to us, and we will share them online and make a scrapbook for everybody to share as a way of building community and supporting one another, and let people know that we are here and we hear them, and we're continuing in spite of everything that's going on right now to help bring awareness to their needs.
I mentioned a website a moment ago. Could one of you tell listeners right now what that is so they can write it down and then act on it?
Sure. They can register their team at www.epilepsyct.com/walk. It's a very simple process. You can register online. To register, it is $35, and for that, you will receive a T-shirt. We are trying to determine how to best get T-shirts to folks with the fact that we are not in an in-person walk for people to pick them up. So we're developing a plan to be able to share those with people. And you have until June 15th to continue to walk, and you can walk at home on your treadmill or around your neighborhood or wherever you're comfortable.
The idea of going out to a state park appeals to me, especially as Governor Lamont pointed out a few days ago, a park that is a beautiful place to go, but it may not be as well known as some of the higher profile places, and for social distancing and continuing to be safe purposes, it would give a person an opportunity to see a place that's really nice to be in, but maybe isn't as overcrowded or have that kind of limitation that some of the better known locations may have from time to time.
Right. And some people just want to walk around their block in their neighborhood. And that's okay, too, wherever they're comfortable and wherever they can remain safe. We have folks that are walking on their treadmill, and that's perfectly fine as long as they are enjoying themselves and sharing their photos with us so we can help best stay together as a community.
We offer about 5 support groups around the state. Currently, they are all being done virtually, so we're offering 3 virtual groups at this time. They can register for those groups simply by reaching out to Stacy, which she can share her email, or somebody can just go to our website to get more information about those groups.
Thank you very much, Monica and Stacy, for spending some time with me on this occasion at this hour of the day to speak about the virtual walk on behalf of epilepsy here in Connecticut. And I thank you for the information you passed along, and I trust that listeners will take it upon themselves to participate by taking that contact information and finding out what they can do to further the cause toward the day when epilepsy won't be the challenge that it is for people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul.
My thanks once again to Stacy Hathaway and Monica Anzalone from the Epilepsy Foundation of Connecticut. For further information, call us at 860-346-1049. The opinions expressed are those of the participants, not necessarily those of the management or staff of the station. I'm Paul Kretschmer on the WIHS Journal, Public Affairs from WIHS, Middletown.